Entering the Mayo Experience.
That Mayo Experience. That Mayo Experience. That Mayo Experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience, the BMW Championship Picks Preview One and Done. I mean, we're basically all out of the one. If you're still winning in the one and done, I don't know what you're doing taking our picks, but we'll give them out anyway. At least you know who not to use in that circumstance. I'm here in studio with Geoff Fienberg. What's up?
I've stopped. It's the FedEx Cup playoffs, and I haven't even made a one and done pick officially in GUP system since the start of the playoffs, which is insane because the playoffs are worth a lot of points. And if you're ever going to make a quick run, it would be then. But it's not insane if you knew how badly I was doing, and it was mute. Although my advice pick last week of Louis
turned out to be all right.
Of like a guy that maybe wasn't used that, might be there because everyone just, he's played fine. But yeah, let's go. I'm feeling good. This is the best I felt on a Monday. I feel like I won a major.
Of course. You hit Poston 2 weeks ago. You hit Patrick Reed last week. All of a sudden, you had a fire start to the year. We had a huge lull. I'm still on that lull, but you're hitting winners off left, right, and center now.
Yeah.
Woodland really turned your year around.
And I double dipped in there also on Patty. So it was a nice one for me. And the fact that I was dumb enough to put my hair on the line had me sweating on Friday afternoon. Haven't
you seen that Spieth story every event this year, though? He's leading after 36 holes.
Okay. We'll do this very quickly. I live in here. Okay. I live here. So there's this whole forgetting. I thought that Spieth would screw me and literally take my hair. That being said, how do I put this? Like, I was never going to go bald. It was like a 3 on like a buzz.
All right, I get 2 on the side.
Okay, so maybe like a 2.
So basically what my hair's at right now is what you would look. I've never seen you
because you're like up there. But I got to get my...
2 on the side, 4 on the top.
I got to get my hair cut tonight to do like the newborn pictures tomorrow. But then I was like, then after that, I might have to like shave it all off. So I would have come in with a full head of hair regardless today. But now I just get to get my like late summer, fall, nice cut ready for all the big football and award show recordings that
we got a lot coming up here. So if I'm actually going on vacation like a week from now, right after golf ends, we're going to take a week. Doesn't mean the show is going to stop. We'll have AFC win totals, NFC win totals, the Custy Awards is the Cuss Corner. We're going to have an intro to Daily Fantasy DraftKings football with the guys from Daily Roto, Mike and Drew. There's a challenge preview. There's a lot going on.
There it is.
There's enough to fill up the space.
Yeah. So back to the own truth that I actually live. I was quite worried when Spieth birdied on Friday on 18. I was like, oh my God, because it was. You know what had me a little bit worried? The most worried
that he was actually hitting approaches pretty well.
Yes, that he actually only hit like maybe one like dreamer putt. And I don't even call these guys can hit 20 footers, especially a guy like Jordan. But most of his birdies were inside of like 15, 10 feet. There was only like one that would have been maybe outside 22 feet on Thursday. On Friday. It was a very tidy round. The round, the type of like skill set that like the real greats put together. You're just putting from 15 feet all day and you're good enough to make them. And when you putt of his skill level, you're going to make a few more. That had me worried.
We saw Snedeker do basically the same thing on Saturday.
But when Friday ended and like Dustin got there and like Patty was there and, even a guy with the skill set of Rahm and Rory, despite his penalty, was still there.
He got it back though. That was on Saturday.
They gave him the strokes back?
They gave him the 2 strokes back.
Shows how I was just so single-minded on like a small collection of players. But then, make Reed to win the event. That to me, that was like a major for me personally in my little bubble of putting my hair on the line, which isn't that bold. You're saying one guy of 120 won't win. Right?
Cashing a 50-1 winner along with it's not too bad either.
But the fact that it was Reed who ended up winning the event, literally, I felt like Woodland's major last night. I really did because we love that guy. I'm so pro Team Reed, Team Justine. I'm not an American. I am happy to bet or bet against USA in team competitions. The President's Cup, as we spoke last time, is usually when I make my biggest risk size wagers. But when they want to like implode from the inside, I'm like enjoying it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But
so I have
Reed's not even on the team yet.
Oh, he's on the. You can't.
I think that yes, he will be a captain's pick, but he's technically not.
And
on
Tiger's
the team.
about Reed more than he's about Spieth.
I think they're both on the team. To tell you the truth.
Yeah, well, the fact that none of those kids were invited to dinner makes me think that they're not even options. Like the Christian Laettner, Steve Smith rule that we hope for isn't even in play there.
Strangely, I guess they don't need to do that. Maybe that's just that's our mindset of what we would like to see.
Yeah, because in their
they're not all about
in their
that.
minds, it's like these guys have been on tour 7 years. We're going to award them with this prestigious there's more to it than us. It's like all-star games. It's like there's a lot of cachet that goes along with it. When it gets time to vote people into the World Golf Hall of Fame, they'll look back at how many President's Cup teams there are. Yes, and there's almost like I don't want to say lifetime achievement award because these guys are so young, but sort of you've earned this over the course of your career. Tiger's going to give it to you as opposed to the kids. We disagree, but I see what they see. Anyhow, from even when it all started, man, in my little bubble of when Spieth was, before he even won his first Masters, was like 20, 25 to 1, and Reed's like 100, 120. We're like, these guys are the exact freaking same. One's 120, one's 125. Spieth goes out and dominates for like years. Well, Reed wins his tournaments, but yeah, I don't know. Reed's the man. And you said right before the PGA that we were on a timeline of Patrick Reed.
Don't forget that I said it was basically a Quail Hollow. It's like Patrick Reed's playing well enough that he's going to win one of these events. And what do? I bet him 4 straight weeks. Don't bet him last week.
You're like the timeline.
Savvy.
And you're like
savvy move on my part.
But you also like it's been over like the calendar has gone a full year without a Patrick Reed win. It's just almost time to auto be Patrick Reed.
It was stupid on my part. And I bet him last week and I got triple the odds No, don't want any part of that. I'll bet that loser Patrick Cantlay, which I'm definitely going to do again this week. I don't miss out.
Well, here's the thing, because you've jumped off ships that have won a lot this year.
6 times I have jumped off ships and they've won the next week.
And I literally went to bed thinking, well, if Pat doesn't bet Cantlay or JT.
I didn't bet JT last week, though.
Sorry. Well, okay. So you're going to stick on that.
Yeah, my card boiled down to you're out here hitting Patrick Reed winners. Corey Connors missed a 5-foot putt on 18 to not cash his top 20, which was fun. Billy Horschel had a top 10 on a nice sizable one. He just implodes on Sunday. Danny Willett I have to win in top 5. He might as well have shot 95 on Sunday because he was just out of it. And he sunk on my DraftKings.
It was an annoying season finale. For
old Danny?
For Danny. But a season that was nice. And even in his interview, he credited it kind of all started to turn around for him
when he met you?
In Hamilton.
When he met you and then the season took off.
Yeah. Although the PGA Tour and their telecasts don't want to acknowledge that really great event he won like at Christmas or right around there.
They don't like to do like Euro stuff. They don't. It's like they don't have the internet that has access to Europe. Like it's like, here's what you do. You go off PGAtour.com and that is the only thing that exists. Notes I've been getting from the PGA too. So I'm like, hey, strokes gained, ball striking. We don't know what that is. It's like, well, you should be able to piece that together.
Also, and credit to Spieth. He's playing really well. He's making a ton of birdies.
He's been a great DraftKings player.
Yeah, he's been fantastic. It seems like it could come.
Yeah, it seems like it's getting close because like the irons are starting to get figured out a little bit. Just don't shank it into the woods all the time, man, with an iron.
If you go back, and this isn't like a bold thing to say because guys show life and then they win. Guys are showing life before they're winning here consistently, like every single week. Even JT went off in the final group in his like start before he won, right?
JT
Poston.
Oh, Poston. Yeah, no, yeah. It was in Detroit. He was in the final group.
So I'm just saying, like every Reed you've been seeing.
I think Justin Thomas is like, he's not sniffing final group.
But if Justin won, you could see there's been like a steady build to it. This is not the time of year where guys are just winning from nowhere. And I could say for Spieth, I'm not going to bet it, but I've seen enough signs of life that him winning would not shock me.
Well, let's talk about some winners. I got winners at $20 DK from the giveaways last week. If you want to get into a draw for $20 DK this week, smash the like button of the episode, leave your DraftKings handle in the comment section, and give me someone from beyond 50 to 1 you think will come inside the top 5 this week at the BMW Championship at Medinah. Also, leave a audio podcast review, 5 stars, DraftKings handle, something nice. Boom. You're in the draw for $20 DK. Join the Pat Mayo Experience Listeners League as well. The link is in the comment section, or It'll be in the description of the podcast and the Facebook video, and there'll be a link in the YouTube video. What are you looking at over here?
Just your time code there. That's all.
About what?
You want to know?
Yeah, I'm curious to know.
I was wondering what segment you wrote for the clip. That's all.
You realize it's very distracting, right?
You're
like
right.
Leaning over the table,
Yeah.
trying to figure out what I'm up to here.
Trying to think, like, what embarrassing thing did I say in the first like 4 minutes of the show?
Nothing. The winners of the 20DK bucks from last week: T. Keegan 9, Rondman, the guy 717, Kai Pai, A. Johnson 1388, Schwain Bomber, and Draft Fuel, the winners of 20DK dollars. But we got some big winners out there in the Pat Mayo Experience Fantasy National universe. So become a member at fantasynational.com right now. 2 events left, and the season starts up, 2 weeks later? And we know that swing season. That's where the real value is. And we got Greenbrier, we got Houston, and they might end up with decent fields, I'm thinking.
Yeah, those are bigger name events. Like, those events have a little more cachet, although I don't think Houston has a sponsor. Their logo just seems to be like it's the Houston Astros for the tournament. And the Greenbrier that time of year.
Everyone just lives there.
Yeah, but.
And they want to go gambling.
Is it an ideal, like, I don't know, like, seasons?
It's like a resort.
No, I know what it is, but is September like a good...
September in West Virginia? I bet you it's better than September here. And September here's pretty nice.
You know what? September in West Virginia actually sounds amazing. Yeah, anyway, they'll have all the people that live there and
like Phil will show up so he can get his falconing in.
Yeah, no, I think that field should be fine. Is that where the swing season starts?
I don't know. I have no idea. It's one of those two, I think. It's usually Napa where it starts, but that is not the case this year. Anyway, winners. I had over 20 people, thanks to you, tweet at me, giving me credit, which, I always enjoy, despite the fact that I didn't deserve any of it. 20 outright Patrick Reed winning tickets, 50-1 or better. It's pretty good.
Yeah. And there were a lot of I know Mike Miller was on it and Ben was on it. The Wave. People saw the Wave. And props to Ledbetter. Props to Justine. Phone, oh my God. Sorry, they're the best. They're the best.
Fantasy National member Charles LaRocco won a $33 qualifier to get himself into the Fantasy Golf World Championship. Ended up coming 43rd to come $5K.
It's pretty good.
Pretty good. Brad Stinson won $2,632 on $37 by winning the $5 3 max Eagle event. JP had a single bullet in the $33 single entry, turned that into $500. Nikki Noodles, longtime supporter of the show. Nikki, shout out Nikki. $1,213 on a mix of cash games and GPPs. Josh Gordon came 13th in the $5. He entered $195, won $1,477. Toe Tag and Tambo. Played that championship series, came third, won $22,500.
I think he would have won if Rom didn't.
Yeah, he would have won. He won in the 100K.
Yeah.
But he didn't. But still, 22.5K, still pretty good. Tim Forrest turned 207 into 808. DH won $5K. 2 weeks in a row, Jack took home the weekend GPP, good for $200. And the big winner of the weekend, Frank Arone, came 5th in the Fantasy Golf World Championship, good for $40,000.
Awesome. Longtime supporter also.
So that's fantastic news. Let's talk more about... I did want to give a shout out to Fried Egg, at Fried Egg Polly on Twitter. He's he lives around Medinah, played a whole bunch of times. So if you don't follow Fried Egg Polly, first, weird. But if you don't, you should go follow him right now. He's going to have some good insights to the course. Let's keep talking about last week. You want to talk about Bryson?
I'm game for anything. I took in, I didn't see much of the week before, but I took in almost as much as I've seen of any tournament this past week. So
I was there
for anything.
And remember I outlined the worst case scenario about why I really hate going to things? Guess what happened? Worst case scenario. Got delayed at the airport for 8 hours on the way there. Then my flight got canceled on the way back. I had to stay in West Orange, New Jersey.
A night in Newark?
It wasn't even in Newark. It was out because all flights got canceled out of Newark. So everything got bought up. Mine was the last airline to cancel flights. So I ended up in West Orange, New Jersey at a hotel, which Google reviews said has a lot of ants.
No.
Not great. Not great at all. Screwed up my entire week. But it was cool being at the course, I must say. I enjoyed shooting the video there. Got to talk to some players. Got to go walk around all the holes. Really nice looking course. When we talked about great views,
of course.
It was really up there with great views.
Yeah, it has to be.
There was a lot of weird tributaries that I didn't realize that were there too, just like lingering off the fairway.
Yeah, it does have more of a links feel, doesn't it?
No, not really links feel, but there's just like little like strips of water that you can hit it into at weird spots on the course. Like you're just like 2 yards off the fairway, boom, you're in this like 1 yard wide little tributary, which I thought was strange. But a lot of people ended up in it. Any questions about the course? No, okay.
No, I'd have more questions about next week's course, but no, I don't know. It looks beautiful. It's funny how some of their advertisements for it have the Statue of Liberty on holes where you can't actually see the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah,
but it does seem like quite a beautiful course. I don't think can the common folk get on there?
I think so. Yeah,
It's public.
I don't know. I don't ask these questions.
Yeah.
I assume so, but maybe not.
No, yeah, it's always a great venue. It's nice to be back there.
Yeah, shout out to a few people who came up, viewers of the show. I'm always, it's not like I got stuff to do. I was just kind of walking around. So it was nice to go meet people. But I did find out by the presence in the media tent that I went into, a lot of people who work in the media enjoyed this show.
Good.
Happy to hear that. Other people are like, what is a DraftKings? It was like half and half.
That makes a lot of sense, but that's nice. And you walking in there was a nice fresh face.
It's cool. I got to meet Michael Collins too. Real good dude.
Yeah, always seems like a fun guy. He does a lot of regular local radio hits here. He seems like a fun guy.
Yeah.
And by here, I mean where we live. But yeah, no, he seems
very friendly. Very nice.
Yeah, that's apparently the shtick. But apparently it's very real.
Yeah, I don't think it's a shtick. He's just a super nice guy.
Yes, as just reading and his web videos and hearing him on doing radio hits, he does seem beyond friendly and self-deprecating, and he seems like a great guy.
Hopefully he can, he was telling me he's spent 4 nights at home since the British Open.
Oh.
So hopefully the season can end. He can go like hang out for a bit. That's rough. I couldn't do it. Could you?
No, that's a lot. And we'll get into some of that, I think, when we talk about certain players, because it's just not the time for guys like feeling the end.
So let's talk about Bryson and the slow play for a second. I liked your comment about it. I really did. I thought that was very accurate, that he's sort of being painted as, because of the one video that got put out there, now Bryson's taking all the heat for slow play when, yeah, he's slow, but there's a lot of really slow guys.
There's a collection of guys out there who are incredibly slow on a consistent basis. Bryson, I guess, is the most elite player who plays at a slower pace.
Like Cantley plays super slow as well.
Incredibly slow.
Keegan.
The fact is, Bryson being on those web streams in a featured group, you literally just see that. It's almost like a still cam, and it's not right on the telecast. They wouldn't have you watch that. You'd shoot it. It'd be in the can. You'd see it 90 seconds later if they're nice. So yeah, I think he's being painted like he, like committed some insane atrocity. In my opinion, this is my opinion, Bryson's comments towards the Saudi Arabian government at the beginning of the year were far more offensive than his time with the golf shot. But this racked up a lot of things. Props to our boy Eric Patterson and Fantasy Golf Pod guys who had the video, and they went like mainstream, getting dropped in articles on all levels of media, from just golf to sports outlets to general news outlets, picked up on their videos and their tweets. I didn't think it was fair to be personally attacked by other pros when other guys do it. I questioned where the total outrage was when JB Holmes cost Alex Noren Torrey Pines last year. I didn't see other pros like freaking out. It might have been way more egregious than what Bryson did, and it was all on TV.
How much do you think this has to do with the fact that people don't like Bryson?
100%.
That's what this is.
100%.
Listen, I hope he speeds up his game. I hate slow play.
Here's the thing. Bryson deserves to be eviscerated for that incident. But he doesn't need to, he deserves to be called out and taken to task, but he is not the problem.
He's just part of the problem.
Yeah, he's being made to be part of it, but there's also a lot of other things that we are unaware of. Like, at least when, and I'm not comparing anything we would do out there, but if you are, when you see the group ahead of you is still on the tee and hasn't teed off yet, it gives a shit if you want 40 more seconds. You're going to wait there anyway.
I think that becomes the most difficult problem with trying to enforce this.
Yeah, people don't know what's happening. And This is like a pitcher. If the ump's giving you that outside strike that's off the plate, you're going to go back there. You're going to go back there.
Yeah. You comparing it to like a tax loophole that people take advantage of because you can is what Bryson's doing.
Yeah.
And these slow players are doing. Unless someone steps up to actually enforce this,
Enforce it.
They're going to continue to
It'd
do it.
It'd be like I go for it on 4th down and I don't get it, and the ref doesn't come to take the ball away from me, and they still let me keep it. I'm like, I'm going to do this more often.
It's like
they're giving me 5 downs here.
I mean, it's sort of like the opposite because we're talking about slow play, but it's like speeding. It's like, hey, the speed limit's 60. Yeah, I'm going to go 80, and no one's going to stop me.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to continue to go 80 whenever
So
I
they
want.
got to enforce it. And I like that, people can call this a tipping point. It's almost Bryson is.
I hope this works.
Absolutely. And I'm getting like chirped on Twitter. You don't like it. This whole comparison, this incident to Spieth at like the British. Our whole thing with Spieth at the British is that's the final group. If he wasn't in the final group, that could never have happened. But you got to, no. We bitch about everybody who's slow. Everybody. We make fun of Cantley. We make fun of Holmes. We make fun of Nah. We'll make fun of anybody.
Nah really sped his game up, and he's gotten better since.
Nah is to the pace of play what Webb Simpson is to putting. Like their improvements are on a very similar trajectory.
Poor Kevin Na had a real rough go of it on Sunday.
Well, no, he's another player that you win when you're of Kevin Na's status and you win. It's almost like the rest of the season is off. But yeah, I feel Bryson deserves to be called out for what happened, but to be called out by other like touring pros and make the face of a problem, I agree. And he got like triggered and sensitive about it, and asking Brooks for a face-to-face isn't.
Well, it's funny because people were like, "Oh, Brooks is going to kick the absolute living shit out of Bryson if they get into a fight here." I don't think that people realize how gigantic Bryson is.
That's a fair point.
He's not like yoked like Brooks, but he's a big dude.
That's
a lot of these guys are really big. That was my one big takeaway from like being on the range.
I like yes, that's you see that all
like Kuchar is shockingly large.
You're even like amazed at like Kevin Tway. Like a little lanky, but like big. At the size of these guys.
But Bryson's like built.
No doubt about it.
Corey Connors, not as built.
And Brooks, and to Brooks's credit, like to whatever gets you wired, Brooks has a mentality of he plays like a different sport. And he was asked like in other sport, like this is a big deal. Like all these guys are so non-confrontational. Like it's golf. Like I like think about, like I have to get myself thinking like I'm in a different sport to be my best, right? To make it like as competitive. He doesn't like playing golf, but they all love the competition.
They all like to win.
Yeah, and competing. And that's sort of where it is. Yeah, tipping point. We'll get some change. The most awkward thing about the whole thing is that tweet the PGA Tour sent out that they are, I almost don't want to get it wrong, but they didn't even have a statement attached to the tweet, Pat. It was simply, I got it right here, good. We're from the PGA Tour's official account 19 hours ago. We are exploring adjustments to our current pace of play policy.
That's it?
That's it.
That's good. Well, I mean, at least someone has taken notice.
It wasn't a press release. It was just like, it
was just some guy on the social team.
The internet is amazing. But I do agree that it'll be so slippery with the enforcement, and we'll see. But I agree something's got to change. I don't know.
Well, Brandel Chambly was talking about like calling out Brooks as well for like walking ahead on holes. I think Brooks' comment was like, yeah, I didn't think Rory was going to shank it and hit me.
Yeah.
Who cares?
And then like within the feed, there's hundreds of examples of even Tigers, and this is like a Tiger.
I got the Masters.
Yeah, standing on the green as Molly's like on drop 3 or something. Like, come on, bud, hit it inside me, pal.
Well, the big thing is, I was just trying to think.
Brooks?
I lost it. I had it and I lost it.
Bryson?
No.
Brandel and
no,
Shanking.
I lost it. Oh no, yeah, it is on the Bryson thing. That a lot of the like comments on it are just really outrageous on the Bryson. It's like, well, when I go out and play on the weekend, it only takes me 2.5 hours. Like, that's fucking great, man.
Well, that's what Bryson said too.
Yeah, I'm sure it does because he's not playing for 1.3 million.
He was real triggered. Like he was triggered.
Was he cuss level triggered?
He was upset. He was visibly like upset. He shook, and he even acknowledged, like, my whole life, like, not a lot gets to me. Like you guys have made comments about me like forever. None of that got to me. Like this is like this got to him like big time. And I think it's like from the other players.
I mean, he goes into FU mode this week and wins.
I have been saying I'm like pot committed. I don't know. There's him and a couple guys I got to talk about.
All right, we'll get through them here in a second. The other thing is, this morning, Cust found this story about this girl who went into debt because of Instagram, trying to like live a lifestyle.
And he thought it was about buying filters, right?
It's what you get for spending all your money on Instagram filters. Cust, man of the people, he knows.
Oh no, I think it's the vacations and like the dinners, right?
Yeah, well, he was like living in Manhattan and like, I used to live in Manhattan.
Yeah,
I know how expensive it is.
It's not the filters. It's like
keeping up with the Joneses lifestyle. But as it turns out, this person from this article
also bought a lot of filters.
No, ended up and like after the fact, after she paid off her debt, ended up with like 40K followers and is like an influencer and gets paid for Instagram now. So she came out ahead of the entire situation. Gus doesn't like to talk about that part though. BMW going to Medinah.
To me, like last week, the event of the year, arguably.
Maybe
the toughest event to win in the entire calendar. Except it lacks like the mental part of maybe like a major would on like a Sunday back nine. It's still quite a big payday, and the winner would be in position to be in like the top three, right? Going into the strokes allotted.
Yeah,
stuff.
because Brooks is still in first. Reed is now in second.
But we're at 70 guys. This is the WGC without the Asian Tour or even token European Tour point guys that aren't better than Charles Howell III.
Yeah. Are you Aaron Ray? Who wants to know is not here.
Yeah.
Who
you know,
wants to
or even
know?
a guy, or even our boy like Lipsky. You know, you're not getting in here. Although maybe if you played the PGA Tour, you could.
Yeah.
It's the Masters without the 30 lollygaggers. No disrespect. They're champion golfers.
Yeah, Fred Couples ain't here.
Yeah, I wouldn't even refer to him, but you know, Mike and Larry and whatever, the crew, a crew of them. But that makes the Masters great.
Speaking of Mike Weir, Medinah actually sticks out in my mind mainly because of Weir. Because in 1999, I was real gung ho on like, hey, Canadian golfers, here we go.
Yeah.
Weir was in the final group with Tiger in 1999 at the PGA Championship. Shot a quality 80 in the final round. Followed it up in 2006 with the top 10. So Medinah was 1999, 2006 PGA Championship. Tiger won both. This is the shot. Remember a young Sergio's wrap around the tree and the run up the hill. That's from Medinah.
Love this place.
3 U.S. Opens.
Ryder
Before
Cup's
that,
here.
Ryder Cup 2012 was held here. That was after sort of, they didn't like completely redesign the course. They made the number 15 like a drivable par 4. Guys are going to score at this course, but it is pretty tough.
A lot of par 5s.
There's 4 par 5s. I would expect the winning score to be around almost like last week, minus 15, minus 16. If someone has a hot week, they could get up to minus 20. Tree line fairways. But when I was talking to Paulie, he said like Riviera and Firestone, if you hit it into the trees here, it's not like you need to pitch it out sideways 3 yards to get back on the fairway. Like you can kind of have a shot, not necessarily to hit the green, but get it up close to the green. So I do think that around the green is going to come into play a little bit here, only because of those situations. That's how you're going to have to save par. You hit it in the trees, you put it to 20 feet from off the green, you got to get it up and down from there to save some par. 7,613 yards, a long track.
It's a beast.
2 of the par 5s are over 600 yards, though. All the par 3s are more than 190 yards. So it's going to be a long iron fest. I'm looking at ball striking, especially with the long irons. And I think you want to keep it in the fairway, to tell you the truth, because even looking back at it, in 99 and 2006, take Tiger out of the equation because he was basically unbeatable at that point and he did everything well. But the remainder of the guys generally are like shorter hitting long iron players like Furyk, Mike Weir, Ian Poulter, like those type of people were the ones that popped up at this course, which I really found surprising due to its extreme length. So I wouldn't just discount some of the shorter hitters this week, especially if they're pretty good with their long irons. Also, you are going to hear the word. This, you know how you have the drinking game for yourself? About, what do you say? I'll say this. Yeah. Everyone just take a drink. Every time that you read a column, make note of how many times the word penultimate is used. People really like to showcase the fact that they know what that word means. And it's only due to prestige TV that people know what penultimate means.
Nope.
But this is going to be in a lot of columns this week. I'm going to tell you that much.
Oh, why? Because it's the second last event.
Yeah, there you go. So you know it too. Everyone knows what it means.
Well,
you're not showing off using the word penultimate anymore.
I remember, like years ago, I said like the best spot to be on a Sunday, like if a guy I bet on, I want him in the penultimate group, and you like kind of stopped the show and like we're amazed that I used it properly.
Yeah, now everyone knows.
Yeah, let's go.
All right, top of the odds to you. Rory 7.5 to 1. Brooks 8 to 1. Rahm 10 to 1. DJ 14. JT 14. Although I've seen him at 16 in other places. Rose 16. Webb 22. Cantlay 22. Same as Reed. Scott, Fleetwood, Fowler, all less than 30 to 1. 25, 28, and 28. Those are your favorites for this field. And I like Patrick Cantlay again. Did you know that Patrick Cantlay led the field in birdies last week?
Not surprised at all.
Bad with his irons for the first time.
And there was a triple on the drivable hole.
For the second time all season, he lost strokes with his irons, which was not great. But he still made all the birdies.
I was hoping you would stop betting him so the rest of us could win a lot of money. Because that seems to work. Apparently, they're getting doused with a lot of rain.
But it's been dried out completely for like the past 3 weeks. Now they're getting the rain.
Yeah, and they're worried about practice rounds. Potentially. So the guys who are like coming here for the first time might not be able to get the work in. Anyhow, going at the top, I'm seeing most places Rory and Brooks tied.
Tied at 8.
Rory is so special, but it just always seems like something for a guy in that class of super elite. I feel like he gives away strokes at a rate higher than others. And it's hard for me to bet that guy under 10 to 1.
That's not the case, though. Here's what's actually the case, because it's all about perception when it comes to this. Rory has been in contention
every week
so often this year is that you notice it. You don't notice it when Brooks is T33. You just don't, because he's kind of like out of it. Because every time he's in it, he tends to win or come in second. But when he's out of it, he's out of it. Rory doesn't really have those weeks. So it's very noticeable when he's in contention and just kind of treads water. It happens to a lot of guys.
That's an incredibly fair point. His finishes this year are outstanding. I don't think anybody has as consistent. He's like Brooks in the majors, just every single event almost.
So Rory missed the cut at Memorial. He missed the cut at the Open, and he was 21st the Masters. Bad major season, really, for Rory. But 6th, 4th, 9th, 1st, 8th, 8th, 1st, 6th, 2nd, 4th, 5th, 4th. It's a pretty good year.
It's insane.
Now, this is the reason. People aren't new.
Winning is hard.
People aren't new to the show at the BMW Championship. This is why we don't bet guys that are 8 to 1, because it's hard to win. Yeah.
And then just going separate back to a different time of year that doesn't exist right now, but even to 2 weeks ago, the amount of like big winners that this season pulled out. Like
the field's a lot closer. The entire range of players is a lot closer.
It's hard. They give it back. For me, in the under 20, the guys I would look at would be Dustin and Justin.
I'd look at Thomas again. I'm thinking about betting him at 16 to 1. It's just, once again, over 6, top 10 in the field.
I would say much
great at driving, couldn't make a putt.
I would say much like the perception take that I just had on Rory. You could almost say the same about Dustin. You just see it because he's just in contention so much that you just see when it's like not fully there or correct.
If you play like the hot form, because we've seen this through the playoffs, like I wish Rahm wasn't 10 to 1 because he's going to get the drive route. There's over half the holes here are dogleg to the left. And he's just going to be like right around the corner.
Crushes it.
Just really, I feel like Bubba would have played the scores really well. But he's no longer in the FedEx Cup. So that's a problem.
And now like the whole... I don't know. Rahm's got to be able to put something away that he's ahead of on this continent that doesn't involve Ryan Palmer or helping him out.
Oh, listen, Rahm on the West Coast is fine. Rahm just can't close on the East Coast.
But even his win, it just seems like every time he wins, it's a charge. And like I'm noting it's my quick perception, but in 2 premier events where he had, I think, a multi-stroke back 9 lead, the Players and last week. Just really, and he was through even the 13th hole with that 2-stroke lead yesterday, was he not?
Mm-hmm.
Like he birdied the par 5 and he got to 16 under and just was all over the place from there. And I know the Players was that single incident. I'm the guy that sat here at Christmas saying he's my pick for Player of the Year.
He can still go win the FedEx Cup, which is pretty good.
I think I might be a year early on that, and I don't know. Maybe if I had to pick it right now, I'd probably pick him again. Because his finishes are almost Rory-esque. Maybe a couple more, but he's like either right there or not there at all.
Rahm's finishes this year: 3rd, 7th, 11th, 3rd. He went miscut, PGA, and Colonial somehow. 9th, 6th, 12th, 45th, 9th, 10th, 5th, 6th, 8th, 1st.
Always around. It doesn't include his team event.
Doesn't include his team win. Yeah.
Or his Irish wins. Or
his Euro win. He won the Irish Open.
So, 10-1 feels...
Right. It's the right number. It's not for me. I get it. Because I'm going to lose money betting Cantlay and Justin Thomas.
This again, though, no one is going to... Like, Keegan, Leishman, and I guess now Reed have been the biggest FedEx Cup winning numbers.
And Mahan.
We've seen. That was a long time ago.
That was 2014.
Yeah. It seems like we're getting one a year when we used to get...
Yeah, we used to get now we get one a year.
This could be a very small but powerful card, Pat. Because I feel like this is just go time.
Well, do you want anyone in the 20s here?
I'm with you. I think Cantlay is absolutely outstanding. He almost never putts for he's always putting for birdie, it feels.
I worry that he's been on a downward trajectory here for the last little bit, since the US Open. Now the results are fine since he won Memorial 21st, 15th, 41st, 12th, 12th. But the approach has really dropped off the past 4 events starting at the Travelers. 3 strokes gained, 2.5 strokes gained, 1.4 strokes gained, lost 0.3 on his approaches this week. Still came 12th, though. Good week putting for him. I like him back on bent. I do like him here, though. So, like I said, I'm going to back.
Not for me, but Rose do anything for you?
Not really, but just
you'd rather bet Thomas.
Yeah, it's Thomas or Rose at 16 of these top guys.
Webb, he's not part of my brand. Great year, but I'm not betting him. Adam Scott, I would have hoped maybe for a higher number. I have not bet him once this entire year, so I don't feel burned by him. I don't think in the end I will bet him because I'd rather just bet guys. He
rates out really well.
No, I'm sure he rates out fantastic. I'll say this. The FedEx Cup playoffs might be the perfect spot for Scott because he plays so little. Now
that he's getting some reps is what you're saying?
Every single event, or I'll say not every single, but I'd say about 75% of the limited starts he makes, there's a moment in that event where I'm like, oh my God, Scott might actually win this thing. And then he'll gag it with a 4-footer. And then we don't see him again till the next really big event. And you have that same feeling again, somewhere in the event. He's playing great. He's doing everything right. But I don't think you can put a price on sort of stacking some events. And now because of the format of the FedEx Cup, can maybe ride some good play as opposed to play well, live like James Bond for a month, helicopter in somewhere else, play well, go away for a month, play well. Am I wrong?
I think that makes a lot of intuitive sense, yeah. But do you want to back him at 25?
No, because it's just not on my brand, and I'd rather bet guys I like who suck and also don't win. Bryson pulled the back-to-back FedEx Cup last year. I'm not betting Patty, but...
Yeah, well, last year Bryson hit a big number last year. We hit him at 80-1 to win the Northern Trust. And then he was 40-1 to win Boston, and he won that too.
Question. When DJ just took Jordan from behind in a playoff with that drive wedge to 4 feet, was that the Northern Trust?
Yep.
I've had 3 straight Northern Trusts.
Have you?
Yeah, I had DJ,
that's right, yeah.
Bryson, and yesterday. Ain't nobody gonna bang with us.
I feel like Leishman has one. No, he won the BMW, didn't he? It wasn't.
We got confused. Yeah, it was Leishman and Keegan have won the last 2 BMWs,
yeah.
I think. So I'm here sitting like it's going to be big boys in 2 straight years. Leishman was probably at least 60-1 winning that BMW. And Keegan was probably 100.
He was over 100, I believe. And you're not, it feels like the books have learned a little bit this year because there are not very many people over 100-1 in a 70-man no-cut field. But anyone else you want to talk about? You want to talk about your boy, the Rickster? Sick miscut. Double bogey on the last.
It's bad. Ricky...
Long-term adjusted, he rates out really well for this course.
Absolutely. Everything you said about it, the first name that came into my head was Ricky. And maybe sometimes the guy beside him, Tommy. Because they do play those long irons very, very well. They can scramble very well. They're not the longest guys on tour, but they are plenty long.
One thing to remember about Fowler from last week is almost like
But he's not playing well.
Well, it's not that he's not playing,
and he's not having the bounce backs to not playing well that I used to be so proud of.
Well, last week was the first time he had played since the British Open.
Are you talking me into it?
No, I'm just saying.
You're
like,
just stating a fact.
I'm just stating a fact. Like, it's been a while since he had played. Like, and last week the approaches were fine. He couldn't chip and he couldn't drive, which is really atypical of Ricky. Like, it was the first time he had lost strokes off the tee since the players.
He didn't go to Memphis, right?
The players, he skipped Memphis.
Yeah.
Players Championship.
Last week he was 22, which really bothered me.
It's not going to be for me, but.
Here's the problem. It contradicts the fact that guys winning these guys are just playing well. There's just life. There's signs of life. And that it really hurts me when wanting to talk about Xander. Because I don't know what to make about that either, Missed the cut, I want to say, on the number or by the number. A stroke.
It was all putting and chipping for him last week.
I know there's a small collection of people that have been trying to pick on Molinari with Xander v. Molinari head-to-heads, and Molinari keeps beating him by a stroke, I think like 3 straight times.
Like last week, the ball striking was fine. Like it wasn't a typical Xander ball striking week. Like the irons weren't great, but he lost a stroke and a half around the greens, lost 2.5 in 2 rounds putting.
I saw a lot of, like on the par 5s, 5.5 to 7 feet, Xander for birdie, and I look back and it says shot 5 in the hole.
It wasn't great.
So hearing that makes perfect sense. But this consortium of players that I like to dump money into do nothing for you. Xander, Tommy, Ricky.
No, I mean they do. I mean listen, I could be talked into basically anyone. Okay. But I have the guys that I want to target this week. But if I'm going Cantlay, I haven't pulled the trigger on JT. I have on Cantlay. But if I go Thomas and Cantlay at 16 and 22, I have a whole lot of room for 28 to 1 guys.
This actually, you said something there that triggered something, which I wanted to talk about. 98% of the times I am talking about a golfer, whether it be on this show or for the most part on Twitter, it's from this like perspective of outright.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So if I talk poorly about a golf, winning is so freaking hard. Like we talk about it every week. And as we talk about every week, they're all amazing. But it's like if I'm bashing a golfer, it's mainly in like the context of outright winning the tournament.
We're talking about we're talking about from a gambling and winning perspective.
And winning is so finite and hard. That's why like the second places are such kick in the nuts, because coming in second is literally almost as hard as coming in first. Could have gotten in for the same price, as Faraday likes to say as the chip rolls by. Yeah. And I'm not even talking about Spieth. A lot of that is its own little beast organism for me. But I'm like just in general with pretty much every golfer. Strictly from outright. They're all wicked and cool and amazing.
33 to 1 to 100 to 1. This is where you get your Finaus, your Spieths, your Brysons, your Xanders. He is 33 to 1. Your boy Louis. Coming off a really good week. For me,
Hideki caught my eye.
I already bet Hideki. I bet Hideki and Poulter. 50 and 55 to 1.
Well, it caught my eye.
Poulter has shown that, he played this, it's 2006, but he came inside the top 10. He was the leading Euro scorer, leading all players in the 2012 Ryder Cup. And if you just rewind a little bit to last week, 3rd in the field in strokes gained approach for Ian Poulter. If you can just do a little bit off the tee and hit some fairways, like he should be good to go here. And it's a pretty good price. The each way is better for him, obviously, at 55. Same as Hideki at 50, but I like both those guys.
I just live in context of recording bet Hideki because I had been
Hideki was like kind of bad last week, by the way.
I know, but
he's one of those
you
guys.
Mentioned
almost
the
like
irons,
Reed, but it's almost like Reed that he's been really good all year. That this just seems like a spot. And it's not like if Hideki wins, you're not going to be like, some scrub won the BMW Championship. He kind of fits the exact mold of the player that wins these things. How
you described it, and a lot of how I spoke nicely about Fleetwood and Ricky, he does almost the exact same things. Less confident from 8 feet, I assure you.
He's been putting okay.
But it's the ball striking, and his distance is way more than that. Like, to call it adequate would be grossly unfair. And he's been going up, and you want to put a 50 out there on a ball striker's layout.
Yeah.
While he doesn't have the win equity is like losing.
It's not
on
like,
him.
but it's not like he doesn't win or hasn't.
No,
won.
it's been some time. But on that note, I'm not betting it. To guys showing life, Jordan Spieth showing a ton of life.
Yeah,
He could easily
33 to 1.
I don't think it's the layout that works for him, but also I would say how well he played last week was had to be taken note, because I didn't think that layout necessarily suits him as well, and he played very, very well.
Looking back to like where he's played the best so far this year, he had that run at Charles Schwab where he came 8th, and that was a complete putting week. But like PGA Championship 3rd, Memorial 7th, St. Jude 12th, Northern Trust 6th, plays really well in these big boy fields. It's the other events that really cripple him.
And I guess those are the ones that are more noticeable, because when he's like the biggest name or the poster, and there isn't like a...
Yeah, you don't really remember the 78th at the Wyndham or the miscut at the Travelers.
No, I would say those ones stick out more because the majors, when he plays bad, they're still like super elite players are like playing well. When he's one of like 4 special names and he shoots like a 79 and he's like $10,000 or $9,500 in DraftKings, I guess it's maybe more noticeable. I don't know. Maybe I'm just
I'm with you on that one. Plus, anything bad Spieth does get amplified at this point.
Yeah, and I give
starting to feel bad for him. You don't. I know.
No, there's part of me that does too.
No, you don't.
No, there's a part of me that like it got ugly. That I almost felt I need to retire this because there's people that are just ruthless.
Bryson at 40.
I have been so pot committed to this. I don't know how I escape it. I don't really like it though. But maybe this is when I get it, when I don't like it. Is it as bad as it feels?
He's been really bad since Matthew Wolff beat him, basically. He's missed the cut at the Open, 48th, the no-cut WGC, 24th last week. He wasn't bad last week, but he was positive. He gained 4.4 strokes tee to green, and that was because he gained 4.5 around the greens because he chipped in like 3 times.
I don't know. This fuel him?
Maybe. I would take the extra 10 points on Hideki and the extra 15 on Poulter. Poulter's more of a gut feel. Both of those are gut feel things at this. Tiger's 40. He's, quote, hopeful he'll play. There's no chance he's playing, right?
I doubt it.
And if he's playing, you just take those head-to-heads for the just upside of him withdrawing.
I felt silly I didn't take them all last week. There were 3 of them, and they left them all up.
Did they?
Even if they bumped the juice 15 points.
So I got a few guys down here. I'm kind of torn on this, but like
Molinari 55.
That was one I had starred. Molinari at 55. The other one, and I don't understand the odds. I guess they're seeing what I'm seeing, but Ryan Moore sets up for this course really well. He's 66 to 1 though. Doesn't it feel like he should be 140 to 1?
That feels so unfair.
I know. Like he has better odds
okay,
than
but
Woodland.
you know what this is like?
He has the same odds as Woodland.
Okay, you're gonna bet it. Or even Leishman.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to bet that.
This is sort of the golf version of when the Patriots would be like in Cleveland and it's like 3.5 points.
You're like the Tennessee game last year.
And this, love, and I even took a joke at Cam this week because I was cheering for everyone but Spieth for a moment when he was in first. I feel like I'm like Cam. I'm like cheering for everybody right now. Even like Justin Rose, I was like, make them all. But and not just Cam, there are a lot of people get that psyching, like the book's trying to trick us. Like, right? It's 3.5. Like, I don't know. Ryan Moore at 66 seems like the books do know something. Because that seems wrong. He
has better odds than Answer does. The Mexican Allen Iverson coming off a runner-up finish made a putt for $333K on 18.
He has better odds than Shane Lowry.
It doesn't make any sense.
Who just won the freaking Open and played more than fine at last week. I don't know exactly how he played, but he hung around. He played all 4 rounds. That's all that mattered. Yeah, I don't understand that.
It's really strange.
I would be confident you don't need to rush into it because I can't see it getting lower.
And the thing is, I don't think that he's going to win. I just think that he's going to play well.
So maybe they're trying to like CH3 you and neutralize your T10.
Maybe, but I just don't get it.
I'm with you. I didn't even see the name. That's how like my eyes just go through a name like that in a field like this.
you got this bottom range. It doesn't look like Cabrera Bello is going to play. Congratulations to Rafa, he and his wife.
Yeah, I saw him on the board, so I was wondering if they had the baby.
I just don't think he has withdrawn yet, so he's still on the betting board. But we have like Answer, Ann, Woodland, Leishman, Neiman. Reedy rates out exceptionally well for this course, and I thought that was just really strange. He's 11th over the past 50 rounds in proximity from 175 to 200 yards and second from beyond 200 yards. He's sort of like the discount Webb this week.
Sorry, I'm thinking about the Grillo season finale.
Grillo's in this field. Grillo made it.
Oh, why? I thought his middle finger on the cut line was his season.
No, he's kicking.
Yeah, I actually don't mind that.
You think he'll make a putt this week?
No.
No one was worse on the greens last week than Siwoo was. It was like embarrassing how bad he was with the putter.
Well, he was lucky for the no MDF rule.
I guess so.
We wouldn't have gotten to play Sunday. Yeah. Did he still finish dead last?
I believe he. Yeah.
See, I don't like play showdowns. So when you're like out of my element, come the weekend, you're out of my element down there.
But anyone else from this like lower range? I think I like Ann the best, but
Keegan 160.
We're not there yet. We're not even at 100 yet. From the bottom of the.
Sorry, I got distracted by the Grillo takes.
Answer and Neiman, those guys. Neiman's the last guy in, 70th in the FedEx Cup.
I'm a very Neiman guy. Just him and another guy who I may as well say because he's the tip of the next level. Like, is this the event him and Neiman like can break through at?
I don't know. I mean,
I really
potentially yes, but
I do like both of them at their numbers. I'm not
Here's a question. I'm very upset Johnny Vegas did not make it this week because he was basically striking the ball better than anyone in the field last week whose name wasn't Harold Varner III.
Varner was.
Are we just like we kind of overlooked this? Like this is why I bring up Answer and then I bring up Varner. Like he was third, Answer was second. We've seen enough times in the FedEx Cup playoffs that guys get hot and they stay hot.
Do they win?
Maybe. We've seen Chris Kirk win one. We've seen Billy Horschel win one. I don't think Kirk won. I think he came second a whole bunch of times. But even with
he came second to Horschel.
Even if you bet the each way, and shout out to DB from the Tour Junkies, he had Varner at 300 to 1 with the each way. But even at 125 with the each way, comes top 5 against. That's paying a nice price. And he was striking like maybe that was his win. And the outlier was that he drove the ball so well, the irons were so fire, and he couldn't get it done. And now he dips back down, but like the ball striking was really impressive.
How poorly would somebody in that, I don't even know if you'll know the answer, in that 15 to 20 FedEx Cup range have to play to not get to next week?
I mean,
like how many guys will actually get in? Like 2?
I mean,
3?
4 guys jumped into the top 70 this week. So I'm guessing like 3 or 4. Because you need a lot of points.
A lot.
Did you see the Adam Shank thing? That 2-stroke penalty cost him the spot in this tournament?
You know what's so obnoxious? Is that if you go read the quote from Slugger or Scooter White, they're like main rules guy. You see him on TV all the time when there's like rain delays or some big controversy. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
It's a bit of a heavier sec. You see his picture, you'd 100% know what I'm talking about. I think his name's Slugger.
That sounds like if that guy appears on screen that I'm checking Shot Tracker to see what my guys are doing because they're no longer shooting shots.
Yeah, but no, you're listening because that guy's giving you an update when play's going to happen.
Yeah, but I'm
again.
telling you, I don't listen to the golf with the sound on.
My point being is PGA Tour, regardless of that quote that I said earlier, that tweet, before that, the day after the Bryson thing, they released an article on their own website and they quoted him, their main rules guy. And they said it would be horrible for like a shot infraction to cost someone a spot in the FedEx Cup or something.
And then it happened.
Then the very next day, it works out that Shank and that egregious 2-stroke bullshit penalty cost him a spot in the FedEx Cup.
So it's already happening. Might as well change the rules.
That is sort of where I'm going. So that was really bothersome. And I hope Slugger or Scooter, whatever it is. I mean, anytime I've been to an event too, they're just chilling in the shade in a golf cart.
Sounds great.
Got it good. So his only sad thing is like the week of like he's working the Barracuda when like the Open's happening.
Yeah, well.
You got to work.
Tough life.
Fair enough. Let's go.
Beyond 100 to 1, the best in the Fantasy National custom stats that I've used, and I did not include putting in this. So Griot actually ranks 8th in this field. Furyk ranks 13th. Hadwin ranks 19th. And of course, Corey Connor is always going to pop up there. He's 28th.
Love for Corey to get to Eastlake.
Be nice.
He's 27th right now.
I really wish he would have made that putt on 18 to cash me that top 20. Because I played it on the other site where there are no dead heat, so it would have paid out full, which really would have been nice.
100 to 1 Sungjae. I've already mentioned it.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't really see a huge difference between Sungjae at 100. Like, I think Werner's probably a better bet at 125.
And Grillo at 160. But I'm not. This is a range where I'll be pretty top heavy.
I'm just going to play Siwoo.
I'm almost wanting to say like Hideki will very good chance just the biggest, highest number I have this week.
Well, I'll bet Siwoo at 160 and I'll bet Champ at 200. List is no longer in contention, so I'm already saving money.
Season finale of List?
Season finale. Well, he's done. We had the season finale of List last week.
Yeah,
now we're going to get the season finale of Siwoo and Champ unless they win, and I want to be there if they win. Champ played like okay last week.
I'm not there.
But that's really it from down on that list. Connors actually is like pretty good.
Connors, again, it's like the putting, like you're betting on Ben Ann.
Hey, Connors actually finished in the positive for putting. So did Ben Ann last week. No, maybe Ben Ann lost. He had a good week, though.
I mean, 80 to 1 might not be a bad.
He lost 2.5 strokes putting.
He hammers that ball. And Putnam being at 60 to 1 seems unfair also. Like Ryan Moore.
Yeah, but he's playing well. Like Moore's... I can't remember the last time Moore did anything. Ryan Moore, 18th, miscut, 15th, 33rd, miscut, 69th. Summer of Ryan Moore. Maybe it's like but he's been gaining strokes ball striking. Dude legit can't putt. It's crazy.
I'm going to be invested nicely under 30 to 1.
Okay. Let's do it then. Let's get to the quick picks for the 2019 BMW Championship. Right now, I'm in on Cantlay at 22 to 1. I don't want to miss out on that one. Hideki at 50 with the each way, Poulter at 55 with the each way, and the typical Siwoo and Cameron Champ with their each ways, 160 and 200 to 1. I am giving a lot of consideration to Justin Thomas at 16 to 1. That's probably where I'll end up going, or I might just keep it light. It's not like I'm having a good year. I don't need to continue to fill up the card with a bunch of losers. You?
I've bet Hideki. I've bet Hideki at 50. I'm gonna bet Justin Thomas.
Okay.
And then between that, I don't know. Feeling kind of charmed. Maybe it is a Ricky week.
There you go. Do you know who rates out number
I
one?
like Cantlay too. I was hoping you weren't gonna pick him though. Like I was all set to like bet him the second you weren't gonna bet him.
Good God, I've turned into Cust?
No, you've just created this thing where guys that you I think have bet like a
couple times
in a row, and you get off, and there's like a win on right at the precipice of it.
Do you know who ranks number 1 in the custom stat modeling over the past 24 rounds?
Rory McIlroy?
No. He's 40 to 1. We didn't see him last week. Paul Casey. Doesn't he kind of do everything that we talked about? He drives it long, he drives it straight, and great with long irons. Also can't putt, but hey, a lot of people can't putt and they win. It's been the year of team can't putt.
He wasn't there last week.
No, he took the week off.
He was on Faraday, though.
Yeah, I'm sure they pre-record those.
Obviously. He's got Langer on this week.
Langer has a really tight face.
Yeah, it's very leathery.
He's been out in the sun for some time.
It's very leathery. He's like holding on because the landscape on that tour is changing.
Well, Phil's going to be there next year. I don't think that Phil's really going to go play on the Champions Tour, but he'll be eligible.
I hope he plays senior majors.
That'd be awesome. Well, that's basically what Stricker does. Stricker plays the senior
majors. Stricker's playing more events now. But he got screwed that the John Deere was the same weekend as a major.
Unfair.
Okay, so Hideki I'll say I've bet Justin Thomas because I'm going to bet him right now.
And that's it?
You'll
figure it out later in the week?
Yeah, but I'll be invested in... I can't not bet Bryson. I'm like pot committed
You can
now.
do whatever you want.
So pot committed on the guy.
Like I said, maybe it's an FU week for Bryson DeChambeau. Just sticks it to everyone. And then he'll be in the final group on Sunday.
He can play slow as he freaking
and
wants.
he'll intentionally
'Cause did you
take
hear
5 minutes to line up every putt.
I was snickering when I heard on the telecast that they had put read and answer on the clock.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
One and done. You got Louis.
Yeah.
I had Cantlay.
I'll go with, I'm not going to bet him, but Adam Scott. But doesn't really matter because I don't even enter my picks. So maybe if people are like really in the heart of it and they've used a lot of names, I can try and help.
I don't know who I've taken and who I haven't taken. I don't think I've taken Justin Rose, so I'll take him, I guess. I don't know who Cuss is taking. I'll release the cheat sheet on Wednesday up on my Facebook page, and we'll get it sorted by then, and it'll be there.
What do you?
And Cuss even submitted the duplicate pick last week.
What do you make of? And I tried to tell him to take Louis,
and then you took Louis.
Well, he could have duplicated me. I'm not in anything, but he needed a guy. He's so like anti-Louis. He took Sergio. Who gassed
I don't know what he was doing with taking Sergio.
Any thoughts on the Jason Day stuff?
A new caddy?
Yeah.
Fired Stevie Williams.
Can
we just get Stevie Williams back with Tiger? Is that ever going to happen? That's going to happen, right?
Look how was good. If I could predict how that breakup went, because Jason Day, like when he hired Stevie, there were some interviews along the lines of, like he wanted to be pushed, like he knows that he's kind of, perennial underachiever based on his talents and what we probably would have said where he'd be 5 years ago. And so he brought Stevie on to maybe help him push. And I'm telling you, Jason was probably just beating down him more and his game isn't right. And Stevie was probably ragging him to like, get out there and practice. And Jason's got 2 kids at home, a beautiful wife, a beautiful life.
Tens of millions of dollars.
Like, I'm not proud. I'm tired. Like, I'm not. And I'm telling you, like, Steve was like, no, you suck, mates. Jason. And I'm not. That's not a knock on Jason or his. No, I mean, his game is clearly I
would think that.
I mean, he's on a Spiethian from like a month ago level, like plunge right now.
I would think that the caddy player dynamic is one of the most unknowable things that the outside looking in can actually figure out. But if Stevie Williams kind of like that sounds perfect to be Tiger's caddy, or like VJ's caddy. Or even Bryson's caddy, to be perfectly honest with you. And Day is just a bit more relaxed. Like, you need to find, like, maybe he tried that out because he thought, like, a military style, like, you need to do this. And it didn't work.
Yeah, and he's like, no, if I'm going to be shit, I
want to have a good time.
I could be shit, not getting, like, feeling like angry dad is, like, on my back.
I think that's why Dustin has his brother on the bag.
Fair.
Because people have even pointed out that if he got, like, a real caddy, he might be better. I think he likes chilling with his brother.
That is an assessment.
And if
I could say this,
like Greller and Spieth work really well together because they think the same way when it comes to shots. They fight, and it doesn't seem to be that big of a deal. Like they're buddies.
And do they even fight? Because that's the other thing. We see things, and they're probably at home watching it on the Golf Channel, like laughing at like reading a tweet about them not liking each other, or laughing at us, not us actually, but the jokes like Greller should be calling Matthew Wolff, Greller should be calling Hovland, Greller should be calling Morikawa. Get a fresh bag. That guy's whatever. But yeah, you're not wrong, Dustin. I wish sometimes he would. Listen,
but do you think that he would work well with someone like yelling at him nonstop?
No, but maybe you'd
hate that.
No, maybe there's a different. No, you're right. And I wish sometimes caddies would be in some of the interviews more, the post rounds. Although it is the
Greller's really the only one that ever pops up in interviews.
Or the golf TV folk with their like Tiger deal do these things with Joey and Tiger, and you just see these.
Well, I feel like that's like a sign off, like you get access to Tiger if you do this.
Yeah, I guess maybe that's Tiger. Like, well, if Joey's there, that's like half the time I have to speak. Too. Like, also, yeah.
Watching Tiger's practice round at the Pro-Am where he wasn't hitting shots, the crowd around him was more than every other group combined. There was one person following DJ around the Pro-Am. He looked really sad.
Do you make anything of DJ's weekend?
Wasn't good.
Little Spieth juju?
Yeah, he got sucked into the Spieth vortex. I don't know. He stopped driving the ball well. He came out,
and it wasn't just as
he came out on Saturday, went par, couldn't make a putt to save his life for birdie, and then shanked one into the woods, and that was the end of DJ.
Yeah, and even Friday, he probably left 3 birdies out there, but his misses were both ways, and that's sort of scary. And I do almost want to bet him, but the 2-way miss is ugly.
You're not getting this is the same discount you've been getting on DJ for the past month. Like until it drops lower, you're not truly getting a discount. He hasn't finished better than top 20 since the PGA Championship.
Crazy.
It's been months. And like he legit can't putt. He's lost strokes putting in 6 consecutive events. That's what we thought he had figured out. But as we know, putting goes woo.
And Spieth putting the first tee shot on Saturday into the water.
With an iron?
Oh, it was okay.
That'll do it on the Pat Mayo Experience. Join the Listeners League. You know how to do that. Told you about the contest, the draws. You can get into that. Geoff Fienberg. You can follow him on Twitter at GFienberg17. You can follow me at the PME, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, where my cheat sheet will appear for the bets on Wednesday afternoon. I'll be back tomorrow to break down the DraftKings field. We got one more of these to go. Check me out on PGAtour.com as well. All right. Good luck at the BMW Championship. I'll see you next time.
That Mayo experience! Experience!